Oof. So difficult to listen to that and to hear his emotion. This is the prosecutor who knows this case backwards and forwards and is having a tough time talking about it in the courtroom during today's sentencing hearing where Chad Doerman pled guilty. Joining us, forensic psychiatrist, trial expert, and our good friend Carol Lieberman. Carol, what possibly could have happened here? There had to have been signs, warning signs, or no? Do people snap?
Well, I think that he was definitely mentally ill. The standard of he originally tried to get, first he pled not guilty, then he wanted to be not guilty by reason of insanity, and they were going to go for a severe mental illness hearing on Monday. And I don't know why they didn't go through with that. Apparently, according to the attorney, there were one or two psychologists on the side of the defense and one on the side for the state, and they couldn't agree. Like they couldn't agree on whether he knew what he was doing was wrong. And I mean, that really bothers me. I've done a ton of, well, maybe not a ton, but I've done a lot of murder cases as an expert witness, and there's a fine line. It's often the battle of the experts, but it's the jury who gets to hear the experts and what the experts base their decision on, and to decide, whether they think the person was not guilty, was insane at the time of the crime or not. This leaves me very uncomfortable with. We don't really know. What they were basing up on in apparently in Ohio, and they need to be either schizophrenic, schizoaffective, or delusional disorder, or bipolar. And I think he would have fit into one of those categories.
All right, we need a break. You guys are going to stay with us. Carol, I mean, she was still talking about, wanting to impress him with her grades. There wasn't the, anger that you might think would pour out of there. What were your takeaways?
Yes, I mean, it really did show such a difference, such a contrast. The father that they described wasn't the father who would do this. They talked about such family moments, like Norman Rockwell paintings, really wholesome. And the daughter said that she would never forgive him, but she wouldn't hate him. There was such warmth there. Of course they're furious, and of course it was tragic. And I mean, it's just so a really emotional kind of dramatic kind of crime and horror to this family. But I keep thinking that, I'm not saying that he should have gotten out or anything like that, but they should have gone to this SMI hearing and had a chance to talk about his mental illness. I mean, that's the thing. There was some kind of a break, whether it was schizophrenic break, bipolar, I don't know. But something happened, like supposedly he was planning this since October. But, you could take that, well, you see, this was premeditated. But it seems like he was really wrestling with himself since October, whether he should do this. And he had a feeling like he was being told, he talked about the Bible, that in the Bible it tells you to kill your first son first, and then your second, and then your third, and then actually your wife is supposed to be first. I mean, he was following these religious, delusional kinds of ideas, and he said lots of things that showed some kind of mental illness. He said, for example, I mean, of course, when he was walking around before he shot them, and he said, "Chad knows what's right," holding a Bible. So that was saying something, that he was believing something, that he was doing something right according to the way he interpreted the Bible. Mm-hmm. And then when he was asking for a lawyer, and he asked for Keith Doerman, his father, and Ruby Franklin, who he said was a CIA agent. And then he was saying, "What did I do? And where's the cameras?" I mean, so many utterings.
Right, yeah.
Really
there was definitely felt like mental illness. Today, the defense attorney actually articulated that to the court, saying, "Hey, this guy is mentally ill. Let's take a listen." Yeah, and to Carol's point, it's almost too bad that portion of the process didn't go through with so that everybody could see what was going on and mentally, and then hear the experts and what they believed, because if someone's living with someone who is going through this, that prevention, and knowing what to do is the key here. Thank you very much, Dr. Carol Lieberman.